Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of The Living Journey, 365-day transformation. I got a light on my face, by the way. And today is Monday, or today's Wednesday, today's the journey. So I'm gonna do Monday mind, Tuesday heart, Wednesday journey. Some of you got, the journey day is gonna be a little bit different all the time, but it's gonna be around more of how I'm doing the journey of building the entire journey of building the complete, the most human business, which maps to all this, what we're doing, by the way. And so I want to start to kind of show you a little bit of behind the scenes of how we execute the business, how we grow the business. Some of you will be interested in this, but tonight, actually, some of you guys, I think tonight's going to be for everybody, because I really want to show most people today how I use two AIs, softwares to build the company, but you guys can use it for your fitness, for relationships, for personal growth, to help better yourself. Like, you can use it for so many things. And so it's just not business, but you'll understand when I show you a couple of things here of how we use it to build the company, but I use it for my fitness, I use it for my health, I use it for everything too. And some of you guys, like I said, I'm showing you everything that I do of building everything in what I'm doing right now with building this movement and building the company. And I want to be able to go back and look and see how I've done it, how we got it to the next level, when we hired, when we didn't hire, and all everything, the journey along the way. It's very crucial for me for myself even to go back and look of how I built the whole thing. It's a full documentary that I'm making, really, to tell you the truth. I want to tell you guys too, like, I'm hashing out still a little bit of the concept and format of all these shows. So I kind of got, like I said, Mind Monday, Tuesday Heart, Wednesday Journey. Then I'll have a live guest. One day it'll be us out doing compassion and kindness and stuff like that. But I'm going to also start to create more of a sequence too. So it's more like, it becomes more like a show. So I think I'm going to run episodes from here to here, and then I'm going to track what we're all doing together and what we're trying to get to. So that's a little bit of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So I was going to show you the computer, but I think it was going to be too hard. So I've got everything here right now on the computer, and this can help you guys in many areas. So AI is now probably 70% right all the time, 70 to 80% right. It's IQ, AI's IQ now. Some people are debating it. It could be over a college degree now, high level university. Some are saying IQ, it's like, I think Elon Musk is 140 IQ, I think, or something like that. And I think Albert Einstein was 170 IQ. And so some people are saying that AI has moved into that level of IQ now. And then probably 6 months from today, it'll be way above that. And if we move into super intelligence, then you guys are going to have to understand this at the highest level. We already should, by the way, if you want to just have a better life in everything you're doing. Right? I mean, track your health if you're having health problems. Right? Now, don't listen to everything it says, but it's crucial. It's the way of the entire, it's the future of everything. So you've got to start to understand it. You got to understand more too to how to protect yourself, protect the kids, protect the next generation. I'm also going to be going into more AI safety. That's where I'm taking our company to build the most human company. So I really am going to move into that and be able to talk to the youth and adults about more AI safety. So let's just go back and let's say all the AIs right now, whether you're going to use Claude, whether you're going to use ChatGPT, Twitter, Elon's Grok, Perplexity, Gemini, forget that one. Yeah, I think Google's one. There's just a lot, right? Everyone debates what's better, what's not. But take the format or take what I do and just kind of, it can work on everyone because it's more about how you talk to it and how you have the right framework. So I use Claude. I find Claude's the best for deep research. And then I use ChatGPT. And here's something very interesting. When I ask ChatGPT something, and then I ask Claude the same thing, they will give me completely different answers. Go figure that one, right? So anything that I'm going to do, if I'm going to build the company, if I'm going to build my health, if I'm going to build anything, a lot of times I go in, and so I always use audio all the time. And now I'm on GPT right now. I just click audio, and I might say something like this before I say act as. So I might say, let's just use business. You can use health, you could use relationships, you could use happiness, like anything. So I might say something like this. Hi, ChatGPT. Who do you find right now are the 15 best business strategists in the world? And can you list them for me? And then can you create a group for me that they all work together and they become my mentorship? Who would they be? So that's going to give me what I want back on that. So always when I'm using it, like you can create AI agents now too, and I've done that where I have my own AI agents, but I'm trying to use this for everybody right now. So if you don't use an agent, to tell you the truth, because it knows me so well, I find that this works just as well as even some of my agents, to be honest. Actually, sometimes it works better for me doing it this way. So it just says the best business strategists, right? Again, so you could do health, you could do relationship, you could do doctors, you could do meditator, whatever you want, right? So it categorized it. So visionary operator, strategy thinkers, Reed Hastings of Netflix, Jeff Bezos, Amazon, Patrick Collision, Stripe co-founder, Brian Chesky, Airbnb CEO, high leverage growth scale thinkers, Alex Hormozi, Andy Grove, he was from Intel, Daniel Ek, Spotify founder, deep business and human psychology thinkers, Ray Dalio, Adam Grant, Simon Sinek, category, brand, story, consumable behavior, Patrick David, Scott Galloway, and then clean summary, and then he gives me about a list of 15. Now I could go in there more. Gary Vee usually comes up sometimes too. Then it goes in and it says S1H, here's your strategic mentorship board. Now if I didn't like any of these too, I would put some in that I like. Maybe I want Gary Vee in there. I would say, can you add Gary Vee to this list, please? Adds Gary Vee to the list. Give our boy V some clout here. Should have brought up V anyways. All right, so it names all that. So there, you've got those. So you necessarily don't have to do that. You can go in and say, act as a top sales copywriter, act as a top. I'm trying to just put a board together of the best thinkers together. And then it lists them all out, and it actually tells me about them too. It says what they founded, what they're good at, what their experience is at, and everything. So now I've got my counsel, my framework. I want the AI to start now pulling from all these people. So that's like our board when we grow our company. So that would be like normally me having to hire 3 top strategists that would cost me $100,000 each, $300,000. So this is how I build my health. This is how I build our companies. This is how I build like our relationships. Like everything I do now, I'm using this somewhat. And people, you might be, well, why are you using it somewhat? Because it thinks better than most people that I'm around. So, and again, some of you might not be full, but again, some of you might jump on here and be not interested in this. But if you're not using this in your everyday life, you're going to lose your careers. So like, this is a training for everybody. Like your careers are over. 45% of the workforce is done in the next 3-4 years. So if you know AI, you're going to save yourself. Okay, it puts together my counsel. Okay, so now what I would say is, let's say I'm going to build now something with inside our company, and I'm going to use all these, all these people together, right? Okay, so I'm just looking over them. So got to understand too, this AI is trained on me a lot already. So ChatGPT knows me inside and out. So I have literally wrote scripts and wrote documents and provided GPT and Claude, both those, so it understands that. Then I just take it over in the other AIs and I just duplicate my document so it really understands me, what my goals are, what I'm trying to do, my energy level, how old I am, my health. Like, I give it everything so it's able to do that. By the way, every kid that's going to be born eventually will be born with its own self AI, because it'll be able to think better than anybody else. It'll be able to teach better than anybody else. So every kid will eventually have its own self AI when they're born. That's just how it will happen. So now I just take all those and let's say, okay, so this is how I use them both. Okay. So let's say I'm going to go in, I'm going to start to talk to it here. Hey, ChatGPT, can you take all those men and women that you just put together that are on my board now and start to go back everything you've learned from me already, and let's jump into what are some of the strategic moves that I need to make right now to build the most human company. I want you to give me the pros. I want you to give me the cons. And again, using this board that you just created. And what would that strategy be? So it says here the pros of executing the plans, the cons, the risks, the dangers. Your board of 16, so it takes the 16 people together now, and it says my board of 16 would tell me, by the way, Elon Musk was in there too. You're at a pivotal moment where you must turn your mission, your identity, and your URL, this one, movement, into a scale operating system. Your biggest immediate task is to turn humanity wins into also the movement and also business income. You need one clear offer now that you can act on. And then it talks about launching, just goes through what they are. It talks about my cash flow, my clients, the movement, the product. Then it talks about the leadership, my content, my mind, my health, scaling. And then it talks about IRL, what I'm doing right now, live streaming becomes your primary based asset. Don't skip this. So this is now, it says Gary V, Naval, it names a bunch of the board members. They would tell you, it says, you aren't in the content business. This is very important. You aren't in the content business. You're in the humanity business, using IRL as the front door. So that's helping me position the company right now, thinking IRL comes first. Double down on IRL filming. Walk and talk. Ask strangers questions. Show compassion. Show discipline. Show routines. Show imperfections. Show your journey. Build consistently. Your IRL show is your top of the funnel. It's the number one thing that's going to move everything for you. Build the human operating system, your intellectual property. Then it gives the other people that are listed there, the Human-First operating system. And then it lists about my mind stuff, my leadership, my discipline, my health, my content strategy. So it starts to go through that, and then build the Human-First community, your true competitive advantage. And then it lists my board members on that. Gary V, Simon Sinek, Seth Godin, Chesky. Your competitive advantage is not your technology. Your competitive advantage is your belonging. Let me say that again. It said to me, your competitive advantage is not your technology. My competitive advantage is my belonging. Now, I want you guys to understand this. Everything that I'm doing right now to build our company is everything that you guys can use in your real life for every area. So that's how you use AI now. So, and then it says you must create a place for people to gather a shared identity, rituals, weekly check-ins, humanity challenges, IRL meetups, live streams, raw connection, a tribe name. Document your journey to build the most human company, which I'm doing right now. Make the public journey part of your business strategy. Build a revenue and then it goes down the trust builder documentary, that type of stuff. Then I've got move 6, a revenue ecosystem. It gives me different ways to make revenue, from leadership training to IRL coaching to corporate packages to compassion, mastermind, and so on. Define your identity in the market, S1H, which I have, the Human-First IRL CEO. Build your systems before you scale, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that it gives me 9 more moves, 10 more moves. Tell the world your mission, your philosophy, your cause, your movement. You got to understand what this does right here. Like, you can do this for your health too. You got to understand that. Do a fitness routine, do an eating plan, but you're going to put in, if you're going to do an eating plan, you understand, put in all your metrics, your age, your weight, your height, if you have low energy, anything like that as well. Sickness, diseases, anything. And then it goes through all my cons. You cannot spread yourself too thin, all this. Okay, so now when I asked GPT to do this, I've been working with Claude, and I want you to start creating one sec here. Okay, so now I just go back and hey ChatGPT, can you take all those men and women that you just put together on the board? Okay, just a sec. So what I'm doing now is I just copy this. Hi ChatGPT, who do you find right now are the best business leaders, blah, blah, blah. I copy that. And then I just paste it into Claude. So I go to Claude. I just start a new chat, simple, right? And then I paste that exact in there. I change the hey ChatGPT to hey Claude. And then I let them I enter, and then I see what Claude comes up with. So here's what you're going to find interesting. Claude came up with completely different people. Claude came up with like Roger Martin, the former Rodman School of Dean, a power thinker. That's very interesting. Jim Collins. Benedict Evans, a tech strategist. So it came up with like probably 10 different ones. Right? So now I go back to GPT and I take that same thing. Can you take all these men and women now and put together a board and give me all the pros and cons building the most human company? And I take that, I put that into Claude now from there. That's done. So now I put that into Claude and it gives me its strategic assessment. Your board of advisors, so it even knows, so this is how much it knows me. It says you're 33 days into 365 days of public commitment to your IRL show, this show. Do you see what I mean? It's trained on me. And it says your greatest asset and my biggest constraint. So it's already talking to me and telling me, like, where's my asset? Where's my constraint? Which way should I be going? And it's giving me a journey blitz. And it's giving me from the board that it put together, it's giving me what they would say, my risks, my rewards. Strategic patience play, it says. So don't monetize your journey, just build toward a massive bigger things. Cons and pros, it says. The render revolution, create micro enterprise around each engagement. Okay, so it goes pretty in depth. So the board's recommendation. So GPT went more in depth, to tell you the truth. But Claude, I find once you get going with it, get you actually deeper strategies. But I play back and forth. So sometimes now I take what GPT said, I copy the whole thing what GPT said, like the entire thing. Right? Again, you can do this for every area of your life, for your kids too. How to be a better parent, right? Just about 90% of the population needs that, right? So there's no excuse now for people. There's just no excuse. So now I go back and GPT gave me more moves. So Claude, I could go back and I could say, that was not that in depth. Can you go more in depth? So now it'll dig down. Now it says the deep strategic analysis. You got to understand too that it's not going quite as in depth too because it already knows so much about me. So it's already like pulling from all that type of stuff, right? All these have already helped me create business strategies, health strategies, everything that I need. So it even says, like things like this, Shane doesn't have a monetization problem. He has a competitive positioning problem. Here's how he gets around that. Porter's 5 forces to be human. So he's listing out exactly the steps that I need to do to build a human company. And that's talking to, like, if I'm dealing with suppliers, I'm dealing with people. Right? And it's like, and then gives rivals intents, who I'm competing against. Here's where you got to most important stuff, right? So you've got to create a new category. By the way, anyone creating anything has to create a new category. So create humanity verification, a new industry where you write the rules, which I'm already doing. So days 1 to 100, establish humanity proof metric. Do a net score. Days 100 to 200, you get 100 companies measuring their humanity score. So it's giving me really in-depth ideas what to build into this. There's things in here, a humanity audit for certain things. So it's going really in depth on certain things that we would have to, go really in depth to think of. Okay, so now, again, there's just a lot of stuff that it goes through here, but you understand the framework. Now I would go back to GPT and I would copy everything that GPT just gave me, which I'm doing right now, right? See, so I'm just copying all that, right? See it, right? I'm just copying all that. Then I just paste it into Claude and I just say, Claude, this is what GPT said. Can you take from this now and give the pros and give the cons of this strategy? So you got to understand, they've given me, here's where you guys are going to get hung up when you're doing all this. It's giving me both of them gave me 2 completely different strategies. So AI, you still need somewhat good judgment because somebody is going to go this way and somebody will go this way in all areas of your life. And then somebody will win big and somebody will lose because they go in the wrong direction. So work them back and forth. And then I go here and I'll just say, this is what ChatGPT said. What do you think? All right, so that's pasted in there. The strategic reality check. When your advisory board authentic debates. So it's very interesting what happened. So it actually gave who they picked Michael Porter versus Alex Hormozi. So they actually took they took their board members that they picked, the strategic board members that GPT picked, and put them against each other. Very interesting. The fundamental disagreement. Porter, the first human operating system, blah, blah, blah. You're either Mackenzie with humanity or you're Tony Robbins with depth. The middle ground is where companies die. Very interesting, right? Hormozi, Porter's stuck in 85. Shane doesn't need positioning. He needs offer clarity. Forget the philosophy. Figure out a 90-day game plan of revenue. Reid Hoffman comes in now and interrupts both them from arguing. You're both wrong. Shane's building a network effect. Businesses got a network effect. Every person becomes more valuable. The Human-First OS isn't the product, it's the protocol. Ray Dalio comes in now and gives his opinion. Now Jeff Bezos counters Ray. I think Shane should actually, with this biz model, could look at raising money. Here's how he could raise money. Scott Gallio laughs. Bezos, he says, not everyone can lose money for 7 years. Shane needs the ramen profitable strategy, sustainable in 30 days. Right? IRL trap. Gary Vaynerchuk comes in and defends IRL content is the strategy. Shane's already got distribution, just monetize attention. Andy Grove, destroy this. Gary's attention with conversion is masturbation. Shane's IRL content gets views, but we need the more metrics. So they're all going in now and giving their talk, giving their back and forth, right? I mean, this is really amazing. Like, you got to understand, if we had to do this by ourselves and get all these people in a room that we just used with AI, it would cost us $1 million. And it would take us 4 months to do. And we've just did all this in 27 minutes. So you can build a company, you can build your health plans, you can build your personal growth, you can build better parenting, there's nothing that you can't build. There's no excuse anymore. Like, you don't even, like, half of these books, to be honest now, they don't matter that much anymore, right? And I write books. I've written five books, right? So they just don't matter as much anymore as they used to, because you can get to the information of what you need so fast. And then it comes down to giving me a final verdict on everything. The real strategy choice. And so then it gives my whole plan. So that's how you run everything. Like, this is, again, I'm trying to show people behind the scenes. Some people might get on here and watch this replay and find this part not that interesting. And others, you're going to be like, wow, like, that's amazing. There's so much I can use in my real life. I mean, I just don't use it for business. Like, I'm heavily trained in the health industry, and I go back and I look at the health industry now, and I verify what's going on. Let me give you a good example. The other night, an investor gave some advice to one of our business clients that I work with and another investor I know. I took the investor's advice and I ran it through 4 different AIs, and the investor's advice was not that good. All the 4 AIs basically washed out the investor's advice. All 4 were on the same point. So now anybody that pretty much gives you advice, you can pretty much check it and see where it's at. And in another 4 months, 5 months, it's just going to be a way another level too. I mean, we're already at a level of, you can see, where you pretty much can't get to the ideas on everything. You have to be really, like, you have to be in different genres for a long time. Again, your careers. You want a good career. How do you do your career better? You start working with AI. This is my career. This is what I'm trying to do in my career. Is my job safe? Am I going to lose it to AI? How should I talk with my boss better. I got a coworker that doesn't really, I'm having a problem with. What should I do there? Again, you would normally have to pay consultants for this, or therapists or people or business people, tons of money for this stuff, but you don't have to anymore. So again, this is just a bit of behind the scenes of how we build. I want to show you, again, I'm trying to show you the whole journey of how I'm building this, because for personal reasons too, I want to look back and be like, wow, we went from here to here. All right, you guys, have a great night. And I'm going to be talking about AI safety on a big, big stream. All right, guys, see you soon.